introduction. He is here to give us a speech today working out of an advanced manual. Project number 5, Speaking to Inform. The objective of his speech today is going to be research and analyze an abstract concept, theory, historical force, or social political issue. Present the ideas in a clear and interesting manner. Please welcome Christian Knight for his speech, Greenway.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests and new members.
Yay!
Earlier in the decade, National Geographic dispatched one of its researchers, one of its fellows, on a mission. This was a familiar mission, it dates back centuries. It was to find happiness. And this guy, Dan Buettner, went to 4 of the happiest places in the world as measured by happiness indexes. Singapore, desert Mexico, Denmark, and San Luis Obispo. He wanted to find out what made these places happy. And after about a year of research, this is what he came to. Places that tend to foster happiness tend to have at least one of 3 characteristics. Number 1, the people there are financially and physically secure. 2, they have a strong network of family and friends. In fact, going to a club once a month, such as Toastmasters, can bring the equivalent of happiness that $40,000 can bring in a year. And 3, they have a short commute. A short commute. Very simple, but very profound. Well, I got bad news for you that may not come as news at all. Your commute is bad, and the news is it's getting worse. In 2010, from 2010 to 2015, congestion increased by 95%, according to the Washington State Department of Transportation. 95%. You know this because you've seen it, but you probably haven't noticed it because you've seen it increase so slowly. Here's the thing, it's just going to get worse. In Kirkland, our population is going to grow by 8,500 homes and 20,500 new jobs. Where are all those cars going to go? In the Puget Sound region, the population is going to grow by 1.1 million by the year 2040. Where are we going to put all those cars? Well, there's 2 primary solutions for this, 2 strategies. Number 1 is to, as they say, build our way out of it. That means increase lanes, increase roads, increase capacity. We've tried this, but even if we were to try it again, it would cost about $500 million. $500 million, just for reference sake, that's about the entire city of Kirkland 2-year budget. $500 million. Not exactly feasible. So the only other option is to mix the modes, to give residents greater choice over how they get around. Not only do people want to drive in their cars all by themselves, but they also want to walk, they want to bike, and they might want to take the transit. Okay? That's called mixing the modes, or multimodal approach. Now, the city of Kirkland's been working on this for a while. You've probably seen new bike lanes popping up on new roads, or roads that we have paved. And you will see projects that will put in new bike lanes. But the problem is, not everybody wants to travel in a bike lane. Well, they want to, but maybe they're a little afraid to. In fact, a study done by the Portland Bureau of Transportation showed that about 60% of us, 60% of the population would like to ride a bike to work, but they're just a little afraid to. 60%. Now that is in stark contrast to the 3 or 4% you see out on the road. Only 1% do they call avid and fearless, strong and fearless. Another 6% they say is enthusiastic and willing. But 60% they call the wary windless. People who want to, but are just a little afraid to. So what do we do with this huge group of commuter? What do we do? Well, there's good news, actually. There's a concept called the Greenway, a neighborhood greenway. It's been tested in Seattle, in Vancouver, BC, and in Portland. And the idea is you take a residential road, just a regular residential road that connects to something, connects to schools, connects to commerce centers, downtown, connects to places where people go. And you accentuate the characteristics that already make it good for walking and bicycling. The way Seattle does this is largely to rely on speed bumps. The thinking is if you slow the traffic, you improve the conditions for a pedestrian or a person who's riding a bicycle. Vancouver has a different approach. They use what's called diverters. They try to separate the bicyclists from the main traffic. And they create one-way streets where two-way streets once existed. The exception is that bicyclists can go down that one-way street.
That's awesome.
So there are different approaches for the greenways. And the city of Kirkland is going to take the best approaches and apply it to its first greenway. It's called the Rose Hill Greenway. This road, it's called 75th Street. It connects the far eastern side of the city, over by Redmond, all the way along Lake Washington High School, across the 80th Street pedestrian bridge, and into downtown Kirkland. We're going to be working on this fall and winter, and eventually it's going to be a greenway. Now, I got to tell you, I'm pretty excited about this. I'm selfishly excited about this. I'm personally excited about this because I ride the soon-to-be Rose Hill Greenway every single day on my way home from work. So those are selfish reasons. But I'm also excited about it on an altruistic level, on a civic level, because bicycling is actually the other half of the happiness ingredient. Not only did Dan Buechner, that researcher, say that a short commute will make you happier, he said if you can add a bicycle ride or a walk into your commute, that is what will make you happy. And why is that? Because bicycling is a segue. Walking is a segue into other activities. It opens you up. Driving in a car closes you down. When you get out of your car and go into your garage, you tend to go straight into your home. Maybe you sit down on the couch and just turn on the news. When you're riding a bicycle or taking a walk, your energy is up. You're encountering multiple people as you're on your way, and you're open to more experiences. Like yesterday, when I got home from my bike commute, I played 10 rounds of capture the flag one-on-one with my 6-year-old son. I told him it would not work. You need more. You need at least a teammate. He said, no, Pops, it'll work just fine. And you know what? It did. And here's the thing. I probably wouldn't have played if I hadn't ridden my bicycle.